As you can see, these interaction between the Kuroshio and the coastal circulations. Today's my talk consists of two parts. First, I will talk about the importance of the interaction from the viewpoint of the Kuroshio current. Next, I will talk about that, but it's from the viewpoint of the coastal circulations. Well, let's go to the first topic. It's from the viewpoint of the Kuroshio current. This is, in other words, about effect of the interaction on the Kuroshio. Well, as you may know, this panel shows a Western boundary current series. Dr. Pedorowski mentioned in his famous textbook, the Western boundary current depend vitally on the frictional dispersion in the Western boundary, like this one, Western boundary. And this fact strongly suggests that coastal dispersion should play important roles in the frictional dispersion. Namely, the coastal interaction will dissipate the Kuroshio current frictionally, dissipate frictionally. Moreover, we should pay attention to another dynamical processes. That is a coastal interaction exchanges not only momentum, but also vorticity between the coastal circulation and the Kuroshio, namely the vorticity exchanges. This panel shows a suggestive example. Left figure, this figure indicates the state of the large meander of the Kuroshio. As you can see, large meander state. And this right figure indicates the result of idealized barotropic model to investigate mechanism of the large meander. As you can see, the Kyushu is here and Kyushu is here. Yellow area indicate clockwise vorticity region. So as you can see, long-term large meander is maintained by the vorticity supply from the coastal in some situation. This is a result of the barotropic model. So how do we address these problems? We now in progress to elucidate quantitatively these exchange processes using high resolution numerical models. Moreover, validation of the model is absolutely necessary. And where key point for the validation is how well the numerical model reproduces sub-mesoscale and even smaller disturbances. Those are less than a few kilometers. Like this, these arrows indicate 50 kilometers. So the sub-mesoscale and even smaller disturbance is important. And high resolution numerical model is required. Therefore, with regard to high resolution models, for now, our group is using two models. JCOP model and MRI.com model. They have been developed by JAMSTEC and Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, respectively. As you can see, their resolution is a few kilometers around Japan, 3 kilometers or 2 kilometers. So they can reproduce the sub-mesoscale disturbance as you can see. And then their investigation is now in a progress stage. By the way, the latest geostationary satellites such as Japanese Himalaya 8 and Korea GOSH provide SST, chlorophyll, and so on with relatively high resolutions. And so this satellite data is very useful for the validation of numerical models. However, it should be noted that salinity, flow velocity, and their depth profiles are unobtainable by satellite. In future, therefore, recent innovative observations such as autonomous glider, surface drone, HF radar, and so on should be expanded in collaborations with other teams in the framework of CSK-2, I think. This panel shows current our scales of coastal observations. In order to realize sustainable observation, we think new observation system without special research vessels and without special massive instruments should be established toward future ocean science. Lower left figure, this one, indicate compact and light temperature, salinity, and current meter loggers. These can be easily equipped with ordinary fishery facility like aquaculture raft, as you can see. And the lower right figures, these photos indicate ADCP and CTD. These can be also easily carried and assembled on the ordinary, like this ordinary fishing boat. Yes, here at the end of the first half of today's my talk, I'd like to mention contribution to the UN Decade of Ocean Science. This study will contribute to deep understanding of subtropical gyre in the North Pacific. Also, it will contribute to improving of numerical modeling of the gyre. Then, of course, this will be applied to solve the climate problems and fishery problems related to the climate variability. Okay, well, let's move to the latter half of today's talk. It's from the viewpoint of the coastal circulations. As you can see, it is needless to say that disturbance is detached from Kuroshio, detached disturbances like this one, 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 and drive some circulations, as you can see. So Kuroshio drives coastal circulations. It is needless to say. For now, so therefore for now, we are starting at the feasibility study in Sugar Bay for the coastal circulation studies. Sugar Bay is located here, pink colored regions. And as mentioned before, submesoscale and even smaller disturbance, less than a few kilometers, should be observed exactly. This is in order to validate the high resolution numerical models. And moreover, in order to find new discoveries beyond our imagination. As mentioned later, these observations will be done in collaboration with stakeholders. By the way, have you ever heard of Sakura Shrimp? Sakura Shrimp is taken as a representation of this interdisciplinary feasibility study toward future sustainable ocean science. And this one is Sakura Shrimp and sun-dried against Mount Fuji. And this is a meal of shrimp. Have we ever tasted? Large commercial catch of Japanese Sakura shrimp is actually limited to only Suruga Bay because habitat of the shrimp requires a very steeply sloping bottom. About this, I will mention soon. Brief details of shrimp ecologies are as follows. As you can see, large retention area, named nutrient-rich area with high chlorophyll concentration, is formed around the mouth of Fuji River. Here is located the Fuji River mouth. And red color indicate nutrient-rich area with high chlorophyll. Sakura shrimp spawn there, these regions. So this region is very important. Habitat of the shrimp requires very steeply sloping bottom like this in a coastal area because shrimp migrate diagonally from the depths of 200 to 300 meters during the daytime. During daytime to a depth, up to depths of 220 or 3 meters depth during nighttime. So as you can see, daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime. And this migration occurs around the river mouth. So the Sakura shrimp requires steep bottom slope. And next panel shows an interesting ecological dynamics of the shrimp. And the ecology of the shrimp is actually strongly controlled by coastal circulation dynamics. And please note this nutrient-rich area. Why does the large retention area, nutrient-rich area, is formed only around the innermost area, namely around the Fuji River mouth in the bay? This figure shows a schematic of dynamics. As you can see, in the lower right in this figure, from the viewpoint of physical oceanography, the Fuji River water can extend well offshore due to orifice above the very steep slope. As you can see, very steep slope above the orifice above the bottom, Kuroshio play important role. And river water extend well offshore. On the other hand, such extension does not occur in other areas such as oil river mouth here because like this. By the way, actually, however, there's a serious problem on the shrimp. Actually, the catches of the shrimp have rapidly decreased since around 2000, like this, rapidly. And in particular, it reached to almost zero in the last few years. So therefore, this serious problem result in unemployment of fishers and closure of fishery processing industries, very social serious problems. Why? Why have the shrimp decreased so rapidly? One of the plausible causes of rapid decrease, especially for the sudden disappearance in the last few years, is oceanic environmental change, we supposed. For example, intrusion of the Kuroshio water into the bay, like this, tended to occur recently because the Kuroshio is now taking the large meander path. As you may know, now Kuroshio is large meander, takes the large meander state. So the Kuroshio water tend to enter the bay like this. And therefore, we are now in preparation or in progress to collaborate with stakeholders. As mentioned before, a sustainable insight observation is in preparation stages in coastal seas. And moreover, we are in progress of observation by ADCP mounted at the bottom of ferry, like this. ADCP is mounted at the bottom of this ferry. And the ferry is regularly crossing the bay almost every day. Furthermore, we are now planning collaborations with fishers using a newly developed CTD instrument like this one. And this CTD instrument is recently designed for fishers to operate in their fisheries. It needs only to be equipped with a fishing net like this. And the data is automatically transferred via Bluetooth to a fisher's cell phone, and data is transferred on the internet. Therefore, what should be noted is CTD data is accumulated every fishing operation. And data of plankton and shrimp are also caught with CTD data. So we can get very valuable data. Well, at the end of the latter half of today's my talk, its contribution to the UN Decade of Ocean Science is as follows. Of course, this study will contribute to deep understanding of the coastal circulation in Surga Bay. And it will improve the fishery system, namely the fishery rules by regulated by government, we will improve such a rules system. Moreover, this result will be expanded to future sustainable ocean science in other coastal seas around the world. And lastly, I close with a brief summary. First, high-resolution numerical modeling is in progress to elucidate quantitative exchanges processes between the Kuroshio and coastal circulation. Second, a sustainable observation system without special research vessels and without a special massive instrument is in progress, preparation, or planning stage in Suruga Bay. And finally, with regard to the CSK-2, our goal is, of course, to establish future sustainable ocean science in the Kuroshio related to coastal seas around Japan and also around the world. So collaboration with other CSK-2 teams is very important to do so, I think. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyusu-san. And it's very interesting talk. So is there any question, comments, or suggestion? Okay. Yeah, Wenxi. Yeah,
hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tanaka-san, for your very interesting topics. My question is about that Sakura Shrimp reduction.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I noticed the very sharp reduction of Sakura production in 2020. Why you just consider, because of the melander of the Kuroshio is the reason for that reduction, whether you take into account other factors such as land-based activities?
Yes, where as you said, there probably there is a lot of possibility to account for this disappearance, as you said, and the large meander state is one of the candidate, or only one candidate for the disappearance of the shrimp. So why I noted the why I suppose that Kuroshio meander is important. The reason is recently Kuroshio water tend to intrude the bay. So Kuroshio water is very warm. So the recently bay water temperature become higher than usual. So the high temperature affect probably provide bad damage on the shrimp, I suppose. So one important possible causes of the rapid decrease is the Kuroshio meander, large meander. Of course, the there are other causes, possible causes. Yes, as you said. For example, it may be due to climate change also. The other another possible causes, for example, is variability of the liver discharge. For the liver river water is
River
river water is important for the ecology of the shrimp. So if river water is reduced in the spawning time of the shrimp, it will provide bad damage to the shrimp. However, now this study is this study has started, so we don't have any solid evidence to derive conclusion soon. So, this is a I will start. I will beginning with the investigation with the changes due to Kuroshio. This is my idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So is there any question? Comment?
Dr. Tanaka?
Yeah.
Yes, hi. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear.
May I following Pak Weng's question? Is there any also possibility that there is overfish?
Sorry,
overfishing.
Overfishing.
Too many catch of shrimp. Is there any, for example, total allowable catch, for example, total catch that are sustainable for this shrimp? Is there any work on that?
Sorry, I cannot hear. Sorry, I cannot.
Any study, for example?
Your voice was broken, so please again.
Yes. Okay. My question is there any possibility that the area is already overfishing? So too many shrimp has been catch.
You mean there are other possibility, other causes of the decrease? Yes. Yes. Kuroshio meander or climate variations, and it may be due to fishery pressure, fishing pressure.
Fishing pressure, yeah.
Yes. But however, what should be noted is a sudden disappearance in last few years. Very sudden disappearance in a few years, in latest a few years. So almost zero in latest a few years. And so this sudden appearance may be not due to the artificial influence. I think it may be due to natural environmental change. But this study have just started now, so we don't have any evidence. We are now gathering a lot of evidence from the observation and from the numerical modeling.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Yutaka. Yeah, Michita. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for your talk, and I can just follow the response from Tanaka-san to the question by Zainab. The local fishermen's cooperation there has been applying the strict control of total catch of the Sakura shrimp. So the maybe I can support the response from Tanaka-san, because there may not be the possibility of the cause or the reason of the steep decrease by the overfishing. This is my the additional comment to that question. Thank you.
Yes. This dynamical physical oceanography study was done by Michida-san. Actually, this paper, Michida-san is a co-author of this paper.
Okay, thank you. And is there any question? So yeah, may I ask? Oh yeah.
This is Ken. Sorry, I do not have any button to raise my hand. So I'm a host.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
don't have any button to raise a hand. Yeah. Tanaka, thank you very much. This is Ken Ando from Jamstack. And your plan is quite nice, and also it's good to work with the Professor Hirose in Kyushu University. He's also doing the similar approach to the northern part of the Kyushu Island.
Yes.
And maybe the more closer collaboration with him will benefit to this new project.
Yes.
And also, Tsukumo Bay. In Tsukumo Bay, Jamstack, my colleague, are doing the similar approach to the Tsukumo Bay in the Kochi Prefecture.
Yes.
So I'm very happy to see this good practice plan, and also doing well in Japan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This CTD is the as you said, this CTD instrument, fishing CTD has been developed by the Hirose-san at the Kyushu University, as you can see, Hirose-san. And about with regard to Tsukumo Bay, Jamstack Miyama-san is my colleague, and my co-author Miyama-san is now ongoing in Tsukumo Bay, and always Tsukumo Bay. We always discuss including Tsukumo Bay in our team, in our team. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And in future, this kind of the approach can be expanded to the South Asian countries too. Thank you very much.
Yes, I agree. Yes, thank you very much. I agree. So.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Wenxi, please.
Okay, thank you, Xiaopei. I can please clarify. You mean, I noted you mentioned several studies in different bays.
Yes.
They're working on the crucial impacts on some fishery-related protection, or they are working on their innovation in technology. As Tanaka-san mentioned about put the CDD together with the fishing night. Which are the similarity of those research?
Similarities. What about what?
Tanaka, because your talk actually, there's very interesting point. Why in the study on the Miranda, the intrusion of Kuroshio, right? The impact of the Kuroshio intrusion on fishery shrimp. Right? Another important point to develop the innovative observation technologies.
Yes.
Right. So the other research in other bay, as mentioned by Ken, they're doing this kind of innovative technology development, right? Correct?
Yes. And Ando-san is saying Tsukumo Bay. Tsukumo Bay is located here.
Okay.
Here. Yes. And yes. Second, Kyushu University Hirose-san is studying now like this region.
Okay.
So I think we should gather everyone's information, and not only Japan, but also East Asia regions around the world, and we should develop innovative skills and innovative studies. This is, I think, this is a sustainable study for the UN Ocean Decade. This is my idea.
Okay, thank you. I'm clear. But research itself is not very closely related to Kuroshio, right?
Yeah.
It's on technology development, right?
Thank you.
Okay, Xiaopei, no more questions from me.
Okay. So I think it's also near time. Is there any question? The last question. Okay, if no, we will move to the next. And thank you, Takura, Tanaka. And the next talk is about Jeha Lee and accused CSK-2 project under development.
Okay, thank you very much, Xiaopei.
Yeah, well, we can see your screen now. Yeah.
So sound is okay?
Yeah, sound is also okay.
Okay. So my talk is about a new CSK-2 project, which is under development in the KIOST. So my colleague, Dr. Hyun Gang, is the PI of this planning. So when you have some questions that is very hard to answer by me, then he will support me. So I will briefly introduce some CSK program in Korea before, and some activities in the Kuroshio area after that, and then explain about project planning. And finally, I will suggest some remarks for discussion for the CSK-2. This map shows that the observation plan for CSK project. I marked this red circle shows that the Korean participation area. At the time, there was no big ship in Korea, and fund is very limited. So the Korean researchers joined.
Hi, Jeha. Yeah, excuse me, please use a display mode. Could you use a display mode to slideshow?
Okay, what's the problem?
Oh, yeah. Could you show in the full screen?
Yes, this full screen, no?
Yeah.
I assume that it is full screen.
Yeah, you can use the slideshow mode. Touch the. Yeah, you can touch the button in the bottom near right, and to use the show mode. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, to display your. Yeah, to display your PowerPoint in full screen. Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So wait a moment.
공유 안 됐나? 안 되네. 이거 됐는데 이게 안 되고 왜 이렇게 보이지?
안 되네. 오케이.
그 화면 공유에서 그 전체 화면 슬라이드 쇼 화면을 꼭 선택하시면 됩니다.
화면 공유 어딨지?
That's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
So this map shows that the Korean activities for the CSK program. At the time, we joined only for the waters around the Korean Peninsula only. After then, there is, by the way, that this CSK has a great meaning for Korean Oceanography Society and the Korean Oceanography Research. In that time, the Korean scientists had an internal symposium to report and discuss the result of the CSK observation. During this symposium, the Korean Society of Oceanography was formed in 1966. After then, the need for the professional training resulted in the establishment of the first oceanography department at the Seoul National University in 1968, and also the first Ocean Research Institute, now the KIOST, was formed in 1973. So the CSK project is very crucial to the development of the oceanography and the ocean research in Korea. So the great meaning. So after then, still there was a very limited research for the Kuroshio area by Korean scientists, mainly for physical oceanography. First one was the subsea velocity program. So we mainly deploy the subsea tweeters in the Kuroshio area. We found some circulation patterns in the Eastern China Sea by this study. And recently we joined to some projects to monitor the Kuroshio, mostly deployment of the current meter moorings. The first one is the Japan-US-Korea project, and second one is the Japan-Korea-China project. The second one was explained by Professor Hanana in the previous webinar. And some projects in the Western Pacific Ocean, mainly in the Philippine Sea, so largely carried out by the KIOST. So first one is the Poseidon and the Gaia project, which aims at the monitoring of the North equatorial current and the low latitude western boundary current. And these projects are the contribution to the AMPOS program. And now we are running a big project of study for the rapid intensification of the typhoon. And the target area is the mid-Philippine Sea. And third one is a study in the Kuroshio extension region. This project was finished last year. And there are various oceanographic small survey programs using the KIOST research vessel, mostly done by university group. This map shows that you can imagine that now the Korea research vessel go out to the open ocean. This example, largely the physical oceanography only, the typhoon study and western boundary current, Kuroshio extension, and so on. Okay, now to explain about the planning a new project. The title is Observation, Assessment, Prediction of the Ocean Productivity using Dynamic Model and Hybrid Artificial Intelligence Technology in the Western Boundary Current region. That has an important influence on the marine environment in Korean waters. So the purpose is that the first line, observation, assessment, prediction of the ocean productivity. And this approach by using dynamic model and the hybrid artificial intelligence technology, including observation. And the target region is the western boundary current regions. This planning will finish in end of this year. And if funding is available, then the target year of the beginning will be 2022. So let me introduce the background. It's a certainly climate change. All of you understand the oceans changed, the ocean heat content increasing, and acidification, dissolved ocean is reduced now, and also the recently marine heat waves are the hot issue. All such kind of changes are affected to the ocean productivities. And these ocean productivities includes everything in relation to the production. The first one is primary productivity and many other biological factors, including fish, algae, even mankind. So, but there is some problem. It is almost impossible to estimate everything for the ocean production directly in the large area. So we need some indirect method. And this production process is related to the changes in the global carbon cycle. So this ocean productivity is a good indicator for understanding changes in ocean health, fisheries, resource, and the global carbon cycle. Such kind of the key words are related to this project. This ocean product shown is some changes, the temporal changes and regional changes. This graph shows that the result of the numerical model, the assimilation of the satellite ocean color data to the biogeochemical models, shows that the slightly decrease of the global primary productions. And also there's a regional difference. You can see the Western and Eastern and tropical and polar region is different. And this figure shows that the regional difference of the increasing trend of the chlorophyte and cyanobacteria in the North Pacific is increasing now. And also another thing is that the marine heat wave, the extreme event in the ocean, that this figure shows that one example of the marine heat wave is very well known the phenomena in the northeastern Pacific Ocean called blob. And so such kind of a marine heat wave is affect to the ecosystems. One scenario suggested by this paper is like this one. So when marine heat wave occurs, this means that the density in the surface is lower. That means enhanced acidification. This results in the decreasing nutrient input and then decreasing phytoplankton biomass and the impact to the zooplankton and some higher level ecosystems. So that this marine heat wave is a stumbling block to the ocean productivity predictions. So we must know about that. So for this project, we have some key requirements. First one is the role of the western boundary current, the role of the Kuroshio because these Kuroshios transport everything like heat, salt, probiotic element, plankton, and fish egg, etc., from the Pacific Ocean to the Korean waters. And the second requirement, we need a tool. So like all system models for understanding carbon cycle. This carbon cycle is an indicator or some factors to study marine production. So in KIOST, we have already developed one KIOST ESM. So we will use this one and then will modify part of this model. And we will use new tools, so-called hybrid intelligence technology. This intelligence technology includes IoT, cloud, big data, and artificial intelligence. And really the new challenges, the forecasting the climate change using deep learning. Recently, there are many papers. It's really increasing now to using this hybrid intelligence technology to study long-term changes of the climate change, even answer predictions. So the goal of this project is like this one. First one is monitoring ocean productivity in the core area. Second one is identification of the factors influencing ocean productivity in the core area. Third one is the development of assessment prediction technology, OP. And the final goal is the result, assessment, the prediction of the ocean productivities. Let me introduce some details for these four goals. First goal is the monitoring ocean productivity in the core area. We will use some advanced observation and analysis technology, like ocean drones, the wave glider, some surface glider, and so on. And we will use some other observation platforms. And also we will participate in the CSK-2 platform. And for the core area, the first choice is that the Kuroshio origin region, so Benham Rise. And we do not decide yet, but we are now discussing about this core area now. Anyway, the first choice is Benham Rise. And for the goal 2, we want to identify the factors influencing ocean productivity in the core area. This is multidisciplinary process studies. Some keywords are like this one: factors influencing OP, interior process, material exchange, and interaction. You can see some words related to this part. And so the goal is development of the model. So we have already developed CHIOS ESM. So we will improve CHIOS ESM, especially for the part of the ocean biogeochemical processes. And also we'll develop the regional ocean system model, focusing on the studied area, coupled with the CHIOS ESM. And the final goal is the advancement of assessment prediction of the ocean productivity. This includes the hybrid intelligence technology. And this final output of this project, assessment and prediction of the ocean production, the 4 marginal seas surrounded by around the Korean Peninsula and the Philippine Sea, and we hope that for Western and North Pacific Oceans. So we are still discussing about this project, making the shape, and discuss about the knowledge gap and so on. So I will introduce some implementation strategy. So this project will write the CSK-2 platform and contribute to the UN Decade of Ocean Science. Certainly, we'll conduct the international cooperative research, and we'll co-work with some other related activities. And the last point is very important in relation to the UNDOS. So we will provide some customized information to all end users. The end user means the research community, including universities and the funding agencies and the government and the general public. So the relation with the general public and the researchers are quite important in the UNGOS. So that this picture shows some relation between institute and the government and society. So far in Korea, there is a very close relationship between institute and the government. So the researchers provide some result, and then government use to make some policy. But for the societies, government and society has some relations, but our researchers and society is a very weak relations. One example is that we are talk about the ocean warming, and policymaker prepared fisheries policy by using based on this research output. But for the general public, really do not understand. So the answer for such kind of activity is so hard. This cartoon shows the same thing. We researchers say about model warming and graph digital numbers, and then government or some funding government make some one document say the fisheries policies, but the general public wants to know about such kind of things, economical factors. So we are now thinking about how we can provide information from our research result for this general public. And I have two remarks. One is the marine science research in the EEG. This map shows that the EEG area. So the Kuroshio passes only EEG area. So in any event, international collaboration is essential for the Korean scientists. So it's very easy to solve these problems. One suggestion is that the selection of the core regions for the study, this might be a good approach. For example, we will select the Panam rice or lower trop or something like that, and then we'll persuade some governments. So some approach. We need some discussion about that. The second remark is UN Decade of Ocean Science. This planning project is related to numbers 3, 6, and 7. And in that case, this project is related to these 4 items. And decade outcomes, in that case, this project is related to the number 2, 3, and 4, and partly number 7. So this is all of my talk. Maybe thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jahan. Is there any question? I think it's a very good overview about the activity from the course about the crucial and related study. Is there any comment or suggestion or question? Okay, Jahan, maybe I will ask you a question. So, how do you combine your like AI technology and with the traditional numerical model for the future prediction? I think it's very interesting, but also a very hard work.
Yep. I agree with you. It's very interesting for me also. It's a very hard work. I don't know about artificial intelligence, but many people are working about that. So may I ask to Dr. Hyunwoo
Well, I'm also, I'm not the expert in AI as well, but my knowledge is that we can use the model data as a kind of learning data, just because it is very difficult to have a lot of data, especially in observation data for the artificial intelligence learning or machine learning skills. So the hybrid method is used, such as the numerical model data as a kind of a proxy for the observation data. And we can make some kind of artificial intelligent program or model to use the numerical model as a learning data or improving the learning skills, and finally predict or correct the dynamic model output to the more appropriate prediction state. So yeah, at the moment I can say that kinds of things would be valuable or efficient for the application of the AI into our oceanographic society. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kang. And also thank you, Jae-Hak. And is there any question or comment?
May I talk?
Yeah, King. Yeah, please.
Sorry again, I don't have a button to push to raise my hand. So I try to jump in. So I have two questions to Jae-Hak. One is that you propose to select the core areas for the CSK-2 project, and it sounds like that you already selected 2 areas south of Okinawa Trench and also Benham Rise. Do you have some scientific rationale to select these? That is one question. And another question is sorry, I forget. So if I will recall, I will question again. So.
Okay, in this slide, this box means the third area, the western part of the Kuroshio, which is certainly related to the Korean waters. So that we must approach the government officials. So we have to explain about the relationship between something in Korean waters and Kuroshio. And this circle means that the high production regions, I don't know exactly, but some the biological oceanography tools and kiosks suggest that first this Benham Rise is very important to study about the environmental problem in the Korean waters. The second one is I actually choose because the Japanese presenters marked this one. The high production region is that the northeast Taiwan and somewhere in the Gulf here, maybe. So this core area is not fixed yet. We need to discuss about Philippines counterparts, such as Lanoi. And if you have any idea, then let me know.
So I do not have now, but okay, I recall the second question. Second question is that you introduced the in Korea also similar to other countries, but the communication between the researchers and society is not so deepened. But in the UNIDCATE approach, we are recommended to use the code design and code delivery system. So do you have some idea to, to adopt the approach, UNIDCATE approach of the code design and code delivery among two research and the society?
I have no clear idea, but we need some people who has a talent connecting this research society and general public. So they are not the scientists. So this is a kind of the outreaching program. So because we have some SNS techniques, so we may prepare many movies or cartoons and make some words for the elementary school students or middle school students and something like that. But so far, I do not have any clear idea.
Thank you very much. Xiaopei, so Zainal raised his hand. Oh, no, wrote his comment on the chat window.
Okay.
It's me?
Yeah. Xiaopei, Zainal wrote his comment on the chat window. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there is.
Okay. Dr. Lee, you are mentioning about a core area in your presentation. What does it really mean by core area? Or is this related with Korean waters, or it related to area where Kuroshio water mass moving? The core area.
This core,
really mean?
You mean this core area?
Yeah.
Where's the,
yes.
Okay. That is the observation region, maybe.
Observation area, yeah?
Yeah, observation by using research vessel and some other techniques, because some numerical model such as ESM and some other techniques need some data. Okay. So that we need some observed data, and we cannot obtain every year, but this yellow circle means that high production area. So for the purpose, we go to there. So core area means the observational area.
Okay. So, but you haven't decided yet the area?
No, decided.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I saw Wenxi, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you, Xiaopei. Thank you, Jay. But this project, frankly speaking, looks very big to me. So even I have some question for Jay about the ocean productivity here. You refer to marine ocean productivity to primary productivity, or not only. You see, this is something our ocean productivity here much more go beyond primary productivities. So how you are measure, I think for primary productivity monitoring are quite mature so far. But how about other kinds of productivity? How are you going to understand what kind of method you are going to understand? The function, the structure of different ecosystem in this research, whether you cover that, or that part. But normally, if we mention about productivity, I think the ecosystem structure and the function is also very important component, study component. So I think in addition to primary productivity here, what other productivity this study will cover?
Dr. Hyunwoo, please talk to me.
Well, thank you for the questions, and that question is very important. Actually, our first goal is to understand the primary productivity as a kind of a regional scale, such as the large marine ecosystem cases, you know, the Yellow Sea and the East China Sea or East Sea or Japan Sea and even Philippine Sea area. As you mentioned that, the skills to observe or analysis of the primary productivity is very matured. But recently we are talking with some Korean fisheries, National Fisheries Institute guys about adding some kinds of, the hydrotrophic productivity as well. And at the moment, if we develop this kind of a project only by kiosk project, then we cannot afford to the hydrotrophic productivity. But if the other hydrotrophic scientists involved, then maybe they have some kind of solutions to estimate or evaluate some kind of a secondary or more productivity. Mm. Another approach is to use some kind of, some available hydrotrophic model. That kind of model is, highly uncertainty, but we could use or validate some kinds of the hydrotrophic model coupled with the low-trophic ecosystem model as well, and then evaluate their performance using the observations. Yeah, at the moment, that kind of things our stage, and we should develop further. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Kang. I think many related questions, has been also identified at the regional UN Decade Workshop last year we organized in Japan. It's quite similar to this study you're proposing. But of course, they also propose a lot of scientific challenges as well, as I briefed some already. So that will be wonderful, if there are more study could be conducted in that area, right? Beyond the primary productivity, not only for primary productivity. Right.
Yes.
Okay, Shofi.
Okay, thank you,
Wenji.
Okay, is there any other question? Okay, if we have no question, we will move to the next and also the last talk for our whole webinar. It's presented by Dr. Rencheng Yu, and so yeah, please.
Okay, thank you, Xiaoping. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you. It's my great pleasure to have a presentation here. Actually, Professor Wang Fan planned to give this talk, but he's now on board a flight from Shanghai to Qingdao, so unfortunately he couldn't give this talk by himself. Just a minute, I'll share my screen. Yeah. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So before my talk, I would like to take this opportunity to have some comments about the talks given by Professor Tanaka and Professor Lee. I think both talks are related more or less to the responses of coastal ocean to the long-term changes of Kuroshio. So I think that's a very important issue which can be considered in CSK-2. Actually, in the China Seas, I think many coastal regions are also has very similar phenomena. I mean, many changes of marine ecosystems are actually related to the variation of Kuroshio current. Starting from the year 2013, our institute was supported by the Chinese Academy of Science by we call Type A Research Priority Program, which its name is WPOS. It's about the West Pacific Ocean System. So one issue of this project is to study the responses of coastal oceans to the variation of Kuroshio, and we found that a branch of Kuroshio in the East China Sea could affect the area adjacent to the Changjiang River estuary, and will affect the distribution of phytoplankton communities, benthic communities, and also related to the dynamics of harmful algal blooms in this region. So I think the coastal ocean, their responses related to the Kuroshio is a very important issue. But today, this talk is actually moved a little bit more upstream of Kuroshio and covered even extensive region in the West Pacific and East India Asia. So we call it Indo-Pacific Convergence Center. So I'd like to introduce the idea from these following 4 points. First, I think the Indo-Pacific Convergence Center is actually the connecting zone between the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean. This region highlighted by the yellow color. And I think it's the most representative, if not the most important region to study the interactions among different spheres of the Earth system. So why that? If we look at the hydrosphere, this is a very important region to study the different circulations. It's actually affected by the ocean circulations in the West Pacific region and also the Indian Ocean. And the complex interaction lead to the formation of the warm pool, which is the most big one in the ocean. And this warm pool has a very strong impacts on the atmospheric circulation, and which will affect the climate change in the East Asia region, and also about a lot of weather, extreme weather phenomena like typhoon. And this will lead to significant impacts on the economics in the East Asia region. More than that, this region is also the joint area of different plates. It's connected to at least three different plates: the Pacific plate, the Eurasia plate, and the Indo-Australia plate. And the interaction of this plate led to the very long-term changes of the marine ecosystem here, and also led to many disasters like earthquakes and the falling tsunami. And since the unique habitats formed in this region is also very important region for not only marine biology but also marine ecosystem. For example, this is the region with rich biodiversity, and the region for coral triangle, including many important species of coral, and also the interactions between different places lead to the formation of many unique deep sea ecosystems. So these are also very important region to study the deep sea ecosystems. And the marine ecosystems is very important for the countries in this region. And I think the marine ecosystem offers not only foods, but also other biological resources to support the development of marine economy. And this region is a priority region studied by many international programs, but all these programs, they only consider one or two important issues, but not the interactions among different spheres. So I think to study the interactions of the different spheres will lead to an increased understanding on the long-term changes of marine ecosystems, the fisheries, biological resources, and this will also support the UN Decade of Ocean Science and help us to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So for the idea of this project, I think the major objectives including 3 parts. The first part is about the mechanisms, because there are very complex interactions about the different spheres. So to study this IPCC region will help us to have a better understanding on the formation and evolution of this unique center and also their social impacts. And the second objection is about observation. Although this region is a very important region to understand the complex processes in different spheres, but as we can look, for example, about the mooring observation system in this region is actually very limited. So we don't have much observation data to support our understandings. So if with this project, within this program, if we could establish an integrated observation system, so it will help us a lot to have better understandings about the key processes related to geological, physical, chemical, and ecological. And the third one is about the prediction. I think both Professor Tanaka and Professor Lee mentioned the application of numeric models. Actually, we have now have better understandings about the better capabilities about the numeric models. So with the application of these models, together with increased observation data, we will have a much better capability in prediction about the long-term changes of marine ecosystems and also about very short, weather disasters or earthquakes. And this will also help us to achieve the sustainable development goals. And finally, I think this program will cover many different subjects related to ocean science, and this will promote the involvement of early career scientists and to encourage young people to be involved in this kind of research, and will increase our capability in the West Pacific region. And for the implementation, I actually is a very rough outline about the idea of this project. I think this project will cover an integrated observation and exploration, and also it will include the studies related to different spherical studies and also their interactions. And there will be more applications of numeric models and observation. And all these researches will help us to have better understandings about the marine life and the health of marine ecosystems in this region. So for the basis to perform this kind of project, I think the current program called Northwest Pacific Ocean Circulation and the Climate Experiment, IMPULSE, it could be very helpful. This is international project supported by many countries, and now it's at phase 2. And if we expand this plan to cover more researches on geological studies and biodiversity and ecological studies, and it will actually form a very good example to study the multispheric interactions in this IPCC region. And also the international collaboration is very necessary for to perform this kind of collaborations. This is only an example for the collaborations between IOC and other related countries. I think we do need more strong international collaborations to perform this project. And also to take this kind of, to perform this kind of studies in the Indo-Pacific region, we need a strong ability to support our researches. For example, the ocean-going vessels and also the ROVs, which can help us to study the deep sea ecosystems. So one good news is that for our case, we have the research vessel of science and also the ROV discovery, which can support us to organize the research activities. And also start from this year, we have got support from Chinese Academy of Sciences. It's a Type B research priority program. It's a 200 million RMB project, which will support the researches related to this program in the next 5 years. So the implications for the UN Decade of Science, I think this kind of project will improve our understandings on the life in the deep sea, and also the understandings about diversity and the ecosystem evolution in this region. and the plate subduction mechanism and resources and also their environmental effects and ocean circulation system. I think this kind of project will give a chance for us to have better understandings about all these different subjects, but also at the same time, with the support of this project, we can increase our capability in the observation and exploration in this region, and also the application of the models. So this region is a very important region, and I think such a program will increase our capability about the multidisciplinary observation network, and also increase the communication in data collected in this region. And with all the observation data and the models, we will this will help us to establish a healthy, safe, and predictive ocean to support the sustainable development. And thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Yeah, it's very interesting to introduce a new project. So is there any comments or question? Yeah, is there any question?
Oh, Xiaopei. Hi,
Yeah.
Xiaopei. Yeah, this is Ken Ando again.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this project sounds like a very big and very cross-cutting and multidisciplinary. So what do you think the which function in this project do you think the most important for contributing to the UN decade?
Thank you. I think actually the UN Decade of Ocean Science have different aspects. Firstly is the increased capability in data collection and also increased knowledge about the ocean science. I think this is very important to support the management of marine ecosystem and the development of marine economy. So I think this is very important because this region is so important. It has many issues related to the development of societal, and I think. But the most important thing is we need a very strong capability for ocean observation in this region. So this will support our ocean researches and also will support the economic development in the countries covered by this region.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And so, how do you have some plan to treat data, observational data for the society in China? So my question is related to my question to JHAC, and data and information will be used for the communication between researchers and society, I guess. So the same question to the JHAC, but do you have some ideas to communicate with society from your perspective?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, the data issue is always the most important issue, but also very sensitive issue in in our studies of the deep oceans. I think Professor Wang Dan, he always encouraged people from our cast to share our data about the ocean observation. I think they have already did a very good job about the data collected by the submerged buoys collected from the West Pacific Ocean, and also for the data collected by this project. I think he will also encourage the people involved to share our data of observation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much, Xiaopei. Professor, can you go to the slide on objective of this?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Information evolution, RPCC, and the social impact through cross-disparting. Okay, but one side I feel very encouraging because our marine scientific research community still can get a lot of funding from donor agencies. You know, this is very encouraging. On the other side, you know, with connection to the UN Decade Ocean Science, I think the UN Decade Science will promote, you know, the solution-oriented research, solution-oriented. That means because in the past, the ocean science, I think in the past has been always used to diagnose problem, but the UN Decade is more emphasized to use science to develop solution. But of course, solution, proposing solution need to build on knowledge, understanding.
Right.
So this is something, you know, I think is one feature, key feature of the UN Decade. Solution, knowledge and solution. So in this case, let's come back to their objective. For instance, just to give an example, to have a better understanding on the formation and the evolution. So people will ask, what kind of better understanding? What's the benchmark we have now on the formation and evolution of IPCC region? So I think this kind of objective need to be further specified into sub-objective. Otherwise, it's very difficult for people to understand, you know. As I mentioned last time, any kind of observation, any kind of data will contribute to understanding, knowledge, or social impact more or less. But that kind of understanding is not always the reason for government to provide support, for stakeholders to provide support. So this is something I think we need to consider more. Particularly your project need to consider more how to specify, you know, those are this very grand objective. You see better understanding. So what kind of understanding is better? Right? You mentioned about social impact. So people will come, what kind of social impact are you going to, you know, address? In a more specified or specific manner, instead of a very general manner. So I would also share with you the UN Decade Implementation Plan, because there they put forward 10 challenges, including 5 knowledge solution challenges, 3 infrastructure challenges, and 2 fundamental challenges. If you want to focus this project on observation, I think maybe contribute to the infrastructure challenges. But from your objective, it seems the project can contribute to the knowledge and the solution challenges. If you want to contribute to that challenges, maybe as we discussed, maybe we have to specify more. What understanding is better? What social impact could be studied, right?
Yeah, I agree with you that thank you. First, thank you for your question, also for your suggestion. I think it is very helpful. I agree with you that these objects are not very specialized. So it actually could cover many different aspects. For example, in terms of ocean circulation and atmospheric circulation, this could be closely related to the climate changes, the prediction of, for example, the extreme weather conditions like typhoon, and in geological, it will also cover many different aspects. I think we should work on this on it, and to make it more specialized, to focus the specialized targets to develop the observation and also to identify the key scientific questions. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Any comment? Question? Okay, yeah, Jaha, please.
Yeah, I have the different questions. So, is there any relationship between this project and other activities in China? I mean, the other project conducted by, say, university or FIO or SIO or something like that.
Sorry, so your question is that whether this project include other research agencies in China?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this project is an idea about the international research project, but it is closely related to one the project I just mentioned is we call it a Type B research priority program supported by the Chinese Academy of Science. So this in this project we have several research institutes within CAS to study the major issues related to this program. So far, it's not the other universities or research institutes, for example, in the Department of Natural Resources are not included. No, sorry, I'm sorry. Actually, the second institute was included. They're working on the Earth models, so to increase the capability of prediction.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, actually included the institutes and universities. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah,
Xiaopei, my last round, many question for Professor Yu. How long this project will last for?
5 years.
5 years. So if the project can only count 5 years, how you can look into the big question like evolution of biodiversity issues in the IPCC? Because when we talk about evolution, normally it's almost more than 1,000 years, you know, this kind of a time scale.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, I think the people involved in the researches of marine biodiversity and marine ecosystems, they try to use different methods, for example, to trace the long-term changes of marine biodiversity, productivity, or the ecosystem changes in this region. They will try to collect sediment cores to do the analysis, and also to predict the futures of marine ecosystems. They try to use numeric models to do this, for example, to predict the changes of marine ecosystems and the warming scenario in this region. But you're right that the 5 years is not enough to finish all the aspects related to this project. So I think such kind of international program will encourage the governments to put more supports for this kind of research. 5 years is not enough.
Okay. So, Wenxi, do you have any question?
No more. I think that's good because we go to the technical discussion. Because as Professor Yu mentioned, that would be great. If the project can further consolidate several key issues or key scientific questions. That will be clear for everyone about the final outcome, the expected outputs and outcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Wenxi. I think we will have more discussions about this and maybe some more meetings related to this project. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there any question? Okay. If no, thanks, Rencheng. And now, before we end of this webinar, and Dr. Kiendo want to talk something about how the next work.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I try to share my screen. Can I see my screen right now?
Yes, we can.
Not yet?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
So yeah, thank you very much for all speakers from the first webinars to the fifth webinar today. And then our final goal is to submit the Science Action Plan to the next intergovernmental session of IOC-WESTPAC. So before to develop the Science Action Plan, we need to identify essential part of Science Action Plan and point to collaborate. That is, I think, Wensi pointed out in the third and fourth webinars. And also, I think that we need to develop a strategy of developing data information service system for CSK-2. So after this webinar, this is the activity of intersessional working group for CSK-2. And we now have 3 co-leads, Xiaopei, Cesar, and myself. So three guys, we summarize these and find essential issues for Science Action Plan from the materials you submitted to us. And to do this, maybe we need 1 to 2 weeks. And then we will have the telecom only among 3 co-leads. And then we would like to announce all PIs who talked their ideas through these 5 webinars to join the other telecom. I will set up the other telecom to discuss the essential issues of CSK-2. And also using this opportunity, we want to discuss the points to collaborate among PIs. And in parallel to these activities, I myself would also make a proposal for the strategy for data information service for CSK-2. Maybe these activities will be took place in the time frame in September to October, I guess. And again, this final goal is to develop Science Action Plan by the next intergovernmental session of WESTPAC. So this is the way forward I'm thinking. So if you do not have any question or comment, I want to proceed like this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Any comment section for what can talk about the next plan? Oh, Wenxi, yeah, please.
This is the brainstorming session now. Thank you very much, Ken, Xiaopei, and Cesar for your leadership in running this activity in the past. I think it's critical now for us because it determines whether the CSK will be really launched or not. So my question is to everyone, including me, whether the talk we presented is adequate enough for this Science Action Plan or not. This is one question. Second, in addition to those scientific ideas, I think another issue about operation, how to make it happen, whether we need to engage the relevant governmental agency into this planning process or implementation process. So this is my 2 question I think we need to consider from my point of view.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wensi. I personally think the information we got is rather sufficient. However, there are some points we need to fill the gap. So first, maybe we want, we means the I myself and Cesar and Xiaopei would like to identify the gap, for the action plan. So maybe first we will discuss. But it is very good opportunity. Thank you, Wensi. I would like also ask the same question to all participants here. So many today we have 23 right now. So I want to have this all of you how you feel to the question by Wensi. So is it okay? Wensi, is it a good idea to ask to everyone right now?
Yes,
Yeah.
If you have time, still have time.
Yeah, so yeah, still have time. And also the participants just covering to coming for observation to our discussion. It's not necessary to say your opinion, but we really want to hear the opinions or comments or feelings, even feelings about the question by Wensi. Yeah. So first one is in alphabet orders in my list. So Akira, could you please say something?
Yes. Yes. I feel so many topics which is contribute to your indicator, of course. But I feel that these topics are not systematically organized. So
are you talking? Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, I'm talking.
Okay, okay.
I want more time to think.
Okay, yes. Yeah, if you have some comment, please send me email by email.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is Augie. Are you here? Augie, are you here? Maybe not here. So Cesar, do you have some comments?
Sorry.
Yeah, Cesar. Yeah.
In the plans for the Philippines, we've already have a team to do work on the Pacific side of the country, and we have some initial funding already to do some of the work next year, and proposals are already submitted for the succeeding years. So I think we are we have the necessary approval from the government. We've also have already agreements with IOCAS and KIOS to do some collaborative work in that area. So I think we are very keen on proceeding with CSK-2.
Thank you very much. Karina Lynn Lepolo, please. Karina, are you here?
Oh yeah. I'm with Cesar. So we're on a team from University of the Philippines, and we're we're from the same project.
Thank you very much. Dezo, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my concern is about the data service. I want to if there's a data address we can download the data. It is a very good opportunity for us to do some scientific research. So my concern is data service. So is there the data is open for the related scientists near this area? So yeah, that's my suggestion. Okay.
Thank you very much. Hannah-san, please.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I think you plan to have a time for the three of the leaders will have time to think about the proposals and then have a meeting all together based on your ideas. That would be good. Because all the individual talks have very different time scales and different spatial scales. We would need a very well organized outline for the proposal. And if you can make a brief outline, then all of us can add something or comment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to do that. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hana-san, thank you very much. Next is Nakamura-san from Kagoshima University, please.
So this is Nakamura. So I just thank you very much for this session. So I also enjoyed the all talks. So I think I contribute to the CSK-2 the observations in the northern part of the Okinawa Trough, the mooring service with to continue the present mooring with Korea groups. I'm happy to join the future plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next one is Hong-Sik Min from Kiosk.
Yes, thanks to all speakers. I think that the big problem is the easy problem to observe. So I think you have to try to cooperate to solve that problem. Thanks. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next one is Hyung-Woo Kang from Kiosk.
Yes, thank you very much. And I enjoyed it very much. And thank you for the presenters and host as well. What my feeling is that still we have shown some kind of each country's or each scientist's proposal for their own science project for this, and they would like to include that kinds of projects into the CSK-2 programs. But my feeling is that still there's some gaps between each country's perspectives, or as Hong-Sik told that we have some problems of coordination of each country's contribution or cooperation as well. So I guess, or I think we might have some kind of another discussion sessions for the coordinations or making some integrated goal for the CSK-2, not only just for each institute or each country's objectives. That's my feelings. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next one is Jehak.
Okay, thank you, Ken. So one thing is that so far the CSK-2 program is something like bottom up. The researchers initiate, and then we both persuade government officials. So one thing is that it would be better that the WESTPAC send the relevant messages to member countries, member states in relation to CSK-2 program. And my feeling is that there are big differences between countries. So we need a little bit more discussion about some gaps between countries. for example, the climate change is every country accept, but in details, the interesting factor is different. So we needed to much more discussion to reduce the gap between countries, in my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Next one is Ichikawa-san. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. I really enjoyed attending this webinar, and well, I think that everybody will be happy with the general concept with the CSK-2, but practically there would be very hard difficulties with the negotiation with the borders and nations and so on. And I think the common idea or knowledge, like remote sensing or modeling, will be a key to solve this kind of hard stuffs. So I think I can contribute somehow for that kind of general concept, crossing the borders of ideas. So I enjoyed to joining, and I am crossing fingers to join you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ichikawa-san. Tanaka-san, please.
Thank you. Well, I think with regard to operation, especially for operational observation, I think the important thing is how sustainable the observation is. Namely, our final goal is to develop the operational management by government. So the important thing is to develop our feasibility study or our pilot study. Or important thing is connect our feasibility study to the final operational management by the government. This is a very important keyword for the operation, I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tanaka-san. Next one is Lilin. Lilin, please. Lilin, are you here? Okay, so next one is Mizue-san.
Okay, hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, thank you for allowing me to join this wonderful webinar. Although I'm not a scientist and some of or many parts are very difficult for me to understand, but I really enjoyed each of your talks. And as although I understand there are many challenges we have to overcome, but I'm really looking forward to support you from the administrative perspectives. So I look forward to working with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mizue-san. Mui, so you have been supporting from the IOC-WESTPAC office. If you have something to say, please say something.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't have anything, but I will support you from WESTPAC on uploading the PowerPoint and website for the CSK. Thank you.
Thank you, Mui. Shijan, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for organizing this awesome seminar. It's very impressive. So what I think about is how to connect, including the linkage between different subjects and the linkage between science study and social needs. And as we have commented several times, actually, there are obvious gaps between better understanding in science and social needs. So I think our CSK community may may propose a complete framework to cover all what we care about and to cover the linkage between different studies and the linkage between science and society. Thank you.
Thank you, Xijang. Lin Chen, please.
Yeah. First, I would say it's my great pleasure to join this discussion and learn a lot from of you. I think maybe the most important thing at this stage is try to find the scientific issue which all partners feel interested with. Actually, from the talks of this discussion, I think the coastal ocean responses related to the long-term changes of the Kuroshio could be a very important issue. So I think maybe you could consider this. Thank you.
Thank you, Lin Chen. Songkyat, please.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. First of all, I have to thank Ken, Cesar, and Xiaopei, for your continuous strong effort to work together to develop this project during the last few years. I think it's from the last 4 or 5 weeks I have enjoyed the webinar. I had learned a lot, particularly since a lot of presentation about all the physical processes, climate, and some of the biological and chemical processes. I think that if we are consider about what we have now today, I think we have quite diverse of the subjects, but as many mentioned when they're doing the presentation, that some of those presentation of project we has been emphasized on a lot of science, sometimes difficult to be visible by the other people how it can be benefit to the UN decade. For me, I think that all the presentation have those kind of potential to support the UN decade of the ocean side. But maybe we need some kind of additional effort or additional partner to help to make those projects to be more multidisciplinary subjects, and then we can integrate the knowledge from the project to be benefit to the UN decades. At this moment, I think is that Ken is going to do some kind of summarize or what we have been done. I think Ken has been works very hard for the last 3 or 4 years. You already have something the idea, the framework of the Kuroshio CSK-2, and then after Ken summarize this or the activity, we can see the gap what is in the original plan or the original thinking by the working group, and then we can find a way to fulfill the gap later. I think at this moment, it will be the good opportunity, if we would like to start and we would like to support UN decade of ocean side, it's going to start next year, because since a lot of project is already have the security funding or going to get the funding to implement this project. I think we can take, we can launch this project if possible by next year, but I believe that we still have a lot of gaps, and the gaps we can, fulfill the gap or develop the new project to fulfill the gap during we implement these projects. Anyway, this project, we still did not talk yet how long it will be, 5 years or 10 years. If 5 years, if we do the 10 year, the same period at the UN decade, this means that doing we implement the project from what existing the resources we have and the project we have. And by the way, we have to seeking for more support of partner to fulfill the gaps, and then, to make this a project to be more complete, as expected by the all the work for the plan from the working group during the last few years. Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Songkyat. Next is Sun-Hyun Nam.
Oh, yeah, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Ken, and thank you, Xiaopei, and thank you, Caesars, and thank you all for contributing this CSK-2 webinar sessions. I'm very happy to join this session. I joined this session as one of the observer to represent CRIMS Pisces that have strong interest in the East Asian, what's happening in the East Asian marginal seas, starting from physical circulation, biogeochemistry, biology and fisheries and ecosystem, and also the socioeconomic impacts. So I believe this science plan of this CSK2 include and cover all these broad disciplines to contribute to UN Decade of Ocean Science. One thing I'd like to see in the implementation plan is the way to overcome the hurdles we have. We know that we are facing several different hurdles to collaborate for this Kuroshio study, like EEZ problems and communication among the whole different disciplines, and the communication with government and general public, and so on. So I'd like to see some ways to overcome those hurdles in the implementation plan. Then I'm more than happy to contribute this CSK2 and yeah, in the future. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I skip Wensi and Xiaopei, please.
Okay, so Wenxi?
No, Xiaopei.
Oh, okay.
I skip Wensi.
Oh, okay. So I think after 5 webinars, we have learned a lot each other, and next we need to think over what's the most important key issue. From my opinion, I also have the feeling that the most important thing is after maybe the CSK2 setup, we need to build the capacity that everyone can share especially share the data, share the resource, and to promote the collaboration. And everyone knows that the observation and study for the ocean science is very expensive, and any single country cannot afford it. And also this is important for the economy and the society needs. From my opinion, I also very happy that King, you will propose a proposal about the strategy for the data and resource sharing, and I think that should be one of the most important cases in the future. Yeah.
Thank you, Xiaopei. Michida-san, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. The first way, I'd like to share the views by all the previous speakers and by thanking all the organizers for your preparation of such an important opportunity to discuss and exchange views about toward the CSK2 planning. And unfortunately, I could have participated only 2 sessions, the last one and this one, but I could see the many findings, what's going on toward the CSK2 planning. And I'd like to suggest a couple of things for the preparation of the science plan by Ken and Xiaopei and Cesar. And today's talk, you can recall that today's the discussion after the Tanaka-san's presentation, when she raised the point, what is the common among the Japanese scientists who are carrying out the coastal oceanographic studies. The one thing I'd like to add is they have some common experience, which is that they carry out their studies in close cooperation with the fishermen's community. So, as you see, the CSK2 should be certainly one of the important contribution from our region to the UN decade. So, in this context, the UN decade, there are several cures for the UN decade preparation and implementation. One of which is the wider stakeholders engagement or science for society.
So along this line, the cooperation with stakeholders like fishermen or fisheries communities is quite important. So such kind of the experience, you can take them as the best practices for toward the purposes or contribution to the UN decade from the region. Of course, the conditions, natural or societal condition among the fisheries are different from by country, but there might be some common experience between us. I mean, in the WESTPAC community. So I hope this kind of issue or this kind of aspect can be incorporated in your the science plan prepared next couple of months. So again, I'd like to thank all of the participants and the organizers. Thank you very much, Ken and others.
Thank you, Michida-san. Zainal, please. Is Zainal not here? Okay. So how about Augie? You come back? Okay, how about Lin? Okay, thank you very much for all of us, all of the talk. So finally, Wensi, do you have some comment?
Thank you very much, Ken. I think actually the point raised by all speakers are quite convergent. There's two, I think, important aspects we should address. The first one is how to come up with one integrated, solution-oriented science plan, right? Yep. The current talk, I think, as we know, is still diversified and also not adequate enough to reflect the common interest in CSK-2. So how to define this integrated framework for science plan? I think this is something I think we will start to work on that. The second is also very important. What kind of implementation and coordination mechanism that should be in place to address those easy issues, to address this kind of data information sharing issues, right? And this kind of implementation mechanism also need to be one part of their science action plan because provide guidance how to address this easy issue and also data information service related issue. So this is something I think because every program you have a lot of experience before, or working together with your partner in different countries. So I really, if possible, next time we have opportunity, I want to hear more. What's your experience? How to address those issues? Right? I think a different program may have a different approach. So this kind of approach should be standardized or should be, or can't have many choice.
Yeah, maybe we should have many choices.
Yes, right. Yes, this is
it's ad hoc or case by case.
Yes, so this is something what kind of implementation mechanism we should develop, or we need to take into account from now on. Right. So I think I really appreciate the very high passion and also the enthusiasm has been expressed by all speakers over the last 5 seminars. Now, good beginning is half done. I think that the strong interest already there. So the next is how to make it happen. Building on the passion, the high passion, high enthusiasm, and also a lot of available program cooperation that already existing in this region. So this webinar, I think it's just a beginning. Please, keep engaged, right, Ken, Cesar, and also Xiaopei. Please keep engaged in the process, development process, implementation process. together with the 3 co-chairs. And feel free to provide any good ideas, suggestions, in order to move this forward. As I say, we are not going to do individual project case by case, because the impacts of their joint efforts should be always greater than the individual program and activities, and also should be producing higher impact, not only for scientific community, but also for other stakeholders as well. So this is something I think from now on, let's start to take their concrete idea and also action as well, right? I think more brainstorming session need to be organized in order to address those very practical issues at the regional level, even at program level, right? So this is my reflection from the 5 webinars.
Yep, thank you very much, Nancy. Yes. Right. Yes. Okay. So, if any other comments from floors? We already have the 50 people, 50 experts to join this effort. So we have a lot of supporters and also many contributors and also players. So very much we are encouraged. Then finally, do you have any other comments? Okay, if not, I want to adjourn this webinar session. And before closing, as usual, please come up on your video.
Show up. Show up.
Show up. Show up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show up. Sorry. Yeah. Finally, we take a screenshot.
Yeah, you have stopped my video, so I cannot show up myself.
Oh, really? Michida-san.
You have a message from the...
Yeah, I sent message to Michida-san.
Okay, good. I'm here.
So this will be the final shot for the webinar series. So please show your smile. So 3, 2, 1, 0. One more. So please show your smile. So 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Khan,
Thank you.
Xiaopei, for sharing
Yeah.
it today. Right.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Next weekend.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow. Stop video.